Pfister 811. It's a supercar that was released into Grand Theft Auto Online 6 years ago in the Finance and Felony DLC. Back 6 years ago, this was the fastest car in the game. And even today, this supercar still holds the title of the top 5 fastest supercar, coming in at a top speed of 132.5 miles per hour. And the only vehicles beating it are the HSW cars that have been released into the newer generation of consoles in Grand Theft Auto. That is very impressive for a car that is, as I said, 6 years old. In today's video, I'm going to review the Pfister 811, talk about why it is such an incredibly fun car to drive, why you should pick it up, and overall just have some fun driving it. Now, the Pfister 811 is based off the Porsche 911, and I absolutely love it. It's just such a nice looking car in real life. I think it's the 911 Spider, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can correct me in the comments down below. But either way, it's an incredible looking car in real life and an incredible looking car in Grand Theft Auto Online. I think Rockstar actually did a really good job designing this vehicle. Its acceleration is absolutely insane. The only problem is its handling. This vehicle's handling is one of the worst. It is 47th out of the 55 supercars. Yeah, so essentially it's just a speed demon. In a straight line, you'll get from point A to point B incredibly fast. However, as soon as you try turning, yeah, you're gonna have to apply the brakes. Now, when it comes to upgradability, this car does not have many. You can see you've got some bumper upgrades here. I really like the drift bumper, but we've got a couple different ones. This actually looks like the real-life Porsche bumper, but there's a couple different bumpers here. Some of them are cool. I do like the painted front bumper, but personally, I just think the drift bumper looks the nicest. You just have one rear bumper. You can just kind of remove the back of it to be carbon, but apart from that, not much. Engine upgrades, as always. There are some exhaust upgrades. As you can see, you can change the color of the shotgun exhaust. I personally think it looks the best carbon, but there are some different colors you can do on it. Horns don't really matter. Obviously, you can do xenon lights. There's not much upgradability when it comes to this vehicle. You can remove the roof and make it kind of a Targa. I do like it without the roof, but personally, whenever it rains, I just kind of like it better to have the roof on the vehicle. You also got some side skirts, as we can see, carbon or as well street or the stock skirts. I honestly just think the carbon look the nicest, especially with the color scheme I have on this vehicle. You do want to put on the top spoiler, even though the stock spoiler is exactly the same as the top spoiler for upgrade looking. The big difference is that the top spoiler gives you a better amount of handling, as you can see on that little bit of traction. I actually do like the stock spoiler better though, because it's carbon, but you always gotta have that handling, especially on a vehicle like this. Now, a fun fact that a lot of people might not know is actually having lower to the ground suspension does give you a bit better traction. I don't know why it doesn't show it, but that is something you should know. Obviously, fully upgraded transmission, turbo, and apart from that, yeah, there's really not much upgrades when it comes to the Pfister 811. It's a car that, well, if you're buying it for the upgrades and the make it some cool pimped out vehicle, you're definitely not going to be doing. But the thing I love about this vehicle is that it doesn't really need a lot of upgrades to look so cool. I mean, the spoiler's already super awesome with that zero gravity look on the back. I think the car is just already a fantastic looking vehicle, so I don't really mind if it doesn't have that many upgrades. And the crazier part about the Pfister 811 is that it's a very cheap vehicle. A lot of the newer cars in Grand Theft Auto Online, like the Panther, the Virtue, 2.9 million, 2.2 million, the Overflawed Entity MT, 2.3 million. I mean, a lot of the cars in Grand Theft Auto Online nowadays are incredibly expensive, as we can see. And that kind of sucks because, I mean, even some of the more lame, toned-down sports cars like the ZR350, $1.2 million. What is crazy is how dang cheap the Pfister 811 is. If we go to sort by price and we go by the cheapest cars, we're starting off about 100,000, 200,000, 400, making our way up, getting there, 700,000, 800,000, slowly climbing, and we're gonna see the Pfister 811 is, actually we've already passed it. That's how cheap this vehicle is. It's somewhere right up here. I know it's on sale as well. Yeah, there you go. This week it's 800,000, but even without the discount, it's normally 1.1 million, which is quite cheap. I mean, that is incredibly cheap for a vehicle that has the 5th highest top speed in the game, which is why I always suggest for people that especially are newer to into the game to pick up a Pfister either for racing or just getting from point A to point B very fast. For the first part of this vehicle's review, I want to go over its handling, and this is a course that I always like to do on any car review. It's straight down through Vinewood Hills, right over towards Sandy Shores. You can see there's a lot of curvy, bendy roads here, and this will be perfect to showcase the kind of poor handling the Pfister 811 has. After we make it to the little pit stop here, we're going to take a second, talk about how the car performed, and then we're going to do the second part of handling, which is driving down this road here and making it all the way over to the road there. I think that this will be a really good overall review of how this car does on off-road, how it does on-road, and then we can just drive it down the highway and talk about what it's really meant to be used for. So here we go. Let's start off, and you can see that insane acceleration right off the get-go. While this vehicle may not have amazing turning, it actually is quite good on grip. It's got huge wheels, as you can see, but ooh man, you got to be very careful still when going around corners. It's got good grip, but because it's so powerful, it still has a lot of tire spin once you lose that grip. So here we go. We've done fine so far, as you can see. It just can't really full speed it, and that's kind of the crux of the Pfisters. It has all this speed, but a lot of the time you're really not able to use the speed because of the way the car handles. But here we go, going around this corner. You can see we're sticking to the road pretty well, but it's just that turning is pretty poor. So alright, we're probably going up towards our top speed at this point. Speed! And then we gotta slow down, and yeah, you can just see how bad it is at turning, and that really is the problem. I mean, look at how slow we have to go around corners with this car, probably down to about 60-50 miles per hour, and that is like ancient speeds in Grand Theft Auto. Oh man, look at that. It's just so bad on handling. As I said, the grip is fine. It's just the fact that it literally cannot turn unless you're going at super slow speeds. So you have to be very careful turning corners in this vehicle. Now, if you actually do let go of the brakes and you just kind of let it coast through the corners, as you can see, it's a little bit better, but it's still not great. So overall, we've done fine. Definitely had to apply the brakes a lot, but I haven't had to worry about crashing at all. At least when you're driving this vehicle, it sticks to the ground, doesn't really lose too much grip. Here we are, making our way through. And this is obviously where that more top speed acceleration is going to be great, because even though we aren't turning much, we're just going fast. This thing accelerates up to its top speed very, very fast. But again, I mean, even just barely trying to turn there and the vehicle smashed into a wall. Got to slow down a little bit here, don't want to crash, but not bad at all, honestly. Pretty solid. Let's just come around this corner. Oh man, oh, that handling. But we have made it to the pit stop, and as we can see, yeah, it definitely struggled quite a bit. We had about one crash, not a huge one, just a bit of a scrape on the side, didn't break any of the lights or anything like that, but still, you can see where this vehicle's handling definitely struggles. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set our waypoint straight to here, and we're going to do the off-road portion of this bit, which is, yeah, it's going to be painful. That's really all there is to say. I'm not sure how this vehicle is going to do on off-road, and one thing I actually do want to check really quick is this vehicle all-wheel drive? Because sometimes you never know, and it looks like the answer is no, it is not all-wheel drive. Okay, well that is something to keep in mind. So when you're driving off-road, it's probably going to suck. But here we go, making our way over here and around the corner to the road. Alright, now comes the off-road portion. I feel like a lot of car reviewers or any YouTuber that makes a review on a car does not bring off-road, but honestly, a lot of the time when I drive a supercar, I still will have to drive off-road, down to the fact that, well, sometimes my friends are somewhere in the map that I have to get to, and this is the car I decided to suffer in. So, as we can see, it's got pretty poor suspension. It is super low to the ground, and because of that, yeah, it's not great for off-roading. We've already crashed once, and it's not like I'm going very fast. If I was in any other sports car that had decent off-road suspension, we'd be fine. To be fair, you could raise the suspension a little bit, and you'd probably be a lot better off. But yeah, it's not great for off-roading. Here we are. Oh, okay, we're fine. Still going. Sorry about your friend there. I guess you're gonna have to find a new boyfriend. Oh god, oh god. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. A little bit of sketchy moments there, but we're still going strong. But yeah, this car on off-roading, if I were to rate it 1 out of 10, 10 being good, 1 being awful, I'd give it a 2. I mean, this is just about as bad as it's going to get. The only vehicle that I could probably think that'd be worse than this is maybe the F1 cars, but this is just awful. absolutely awful on off-roading. Let's loop back now, make our way back towards the road, just so we can get a good idea. But yeah, so far, this has been one of the worst experiences I've ever had when it comes to off-roading in the game. Alright, here we go. Slow down, slow down. Now, to be fair, you could put off-road tires on this vehicle, but I wouldn't ever suggest to do that, because that's just a waste of, this car's capabilities on the road. Alright, you know, we're actually doing a lot better here. A nice little drift on that corner there. Once you get used to the handling, it's fine. It's just really when you hit that bumpy terrain, it's quite awful. But yeah, it's not awful at this part. Oh god, okay, maybe I shouldn't open my math. Alright, here we are. Ooh, okay, come around this corner, and alright, not too bad. We're doing okay, to be completely honest. Alright, I'm going to change my rating from a 2 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10. That's still not good, but it's better, you know? I mean, it's definitely doing a lot better on this bit. It just seems like you can't really hold down the gas at all. You have to kind of feather the throttle. That way the car doesn't lose traction. Once you lose traction, you're basically dead. But yeah, not terrible, actually. I expected this to be a lot worse than it was. Ooh. Okay, well there you have it. This is the Pfister 811. As you can see, yeah, handling-wise, it's not great. Off-roading, not great. When it comes to really any types of handling, it's not great at all. I'm going to go fix the car up really quickly. We're going to make our way to the highway, and then I'll showcase really what this car is all about. Alright, the vehicle's all fixed up, and here we are on a very, very nice straightaway, the Grand Sonora Desert. This is just what the Pfister's meant to do. It's meant to drive on long stretches of road like this. I don't know if this is counted as a highway or just a big ol' state road, but either way, this is what the Pfister's meant to do. Right now, we are flying down the road, and because of that, we are easily reaching speeds, probably upwards of 132. I mean, you can hear the engine is basically redlining, and yeah, it looks like our speedo's telling us we're going about that 130 as well. But yeah, this is what the Pfister's meant to do. It's just incredibly fast at driving on a straight line. And because it has decent grip, it means that when you try to swerve around cars, you're not going to die. So if you ever have a long, windy stretch of road you need to drive towards, this is the kind of car to do it. Whether you're a new player in Grand Theft Auto Online or you've been playing the game for a very long time, the Pfister 811 is still a really solid vehicle to get the job done because of just the fact the majority of GTA's driving is not little corridors going around corners unless you're doing racing or unless you're doing some off-roading. For the most part, when you're going from a job from point A to point B, let's say you're doing a heist setup, this is a great car just to drive to that setup on the highway. So this is my review for the Pfister 811. It is an absolutely fantastic supercar, and even though it does have some shortcomings, for the price tag of only $1.1 million, I would highly suggest to put this vehicle into your collection. It looks amazing. As I said, I would easily rate this car a 10 out of 10 on appearance. There's probably some people out there that aren't going to like the way this car looks, but I think it looks amazing. I'm not a huge fan of Porsche, to be completely honest, so this is the kind of Porsche that actually stands out to me. It looks amazing, and it kind of has a tribute to the real-life car, which is one of the fastest hypercars in real life. So it's just a great car. Pick it up if you like the car. Let me know in the comments down below. And as well, this is kind of a new series I'm planning on doing. It's just kind of reviewing cars I really like, some of my favorite cars. A whole review on the vehicle, talking about its speed, its handling, acceleration, really everything to know about it. So if you want to see more reviews like this, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what cars you want to see next. And other than that, I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.